April 28, 2026. This is the Parc des Princes, the setting for a Champions League semi-final first leg, with stakes that couldn't be higher. On one side, Paris Saint-Germain, the reigning champions who arrived with a reputation for a brick-wall defense. On the other, Bayern Munich, Europe's most prolific attacking machine. The game presented a clash of two distinct styles: Luis Enrique's high-paced transition strategy versus Vincent Kompany's rigid man-to-man press. But Kompany had to watch from the stands, serving a suspension that kept him away from the technical area. What looked like a disciplined tactical standoff on paper quickly vanished. By the time the ninth goal hit the back of the net, this had become the highest-scoring semifinal in the history of the competition. When two philosophies this specialized collide, the usual safety nets of professional football start to fail. The aggressive nature of both systems left no room for a middle ground. Bayern drew first blood in the 17th minute. They exploited PSG's high defensive line to win a penalty, which Harry Kane converted with his usual clinical precision. But the lead didn't last. By the 24th minute, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia proved his superiority in one-on-one situations, slicing through the defense to fire home the equalizer. PSG then turned the game around. João Neves took advantage of a marking failure during a corner to head Paris into a 2-1 lead. The momentum swung again in the 41st minute. As the PSG midfield rotated, they left a pocket of space centrally, enough for Michael Olise to smash in a long-range equalizer. In less than one half of football, it was clear that neither side possessed a tactical answer for the other's primary threat. The match had devolved into a high-speed shootout. Just as halftime approached, drama arrived in the form of a VAR monitor. The referee caught a handball from Alphonso Davies, a controversial call that changed the trajectory of the game. Ousmane Dembélé stepped up and buried the penalty, handing PSG a 3-2 lead and the psychological advantage heading into the tunnel. This map shows how Bayern's man-to-man press began to fail after the break. PSG used vertical, direct passes to bypass the markers, forcing the entire Bayern structure to sprint backward. Here you can see Achraf Hakimi's overlapping run, drawing defenders out of position. That movement cleared a lane for Kvaratskhelia to net his second goal in the 56th minute. 2 minutes later, the map shows Ousmane Dembélé isolating Dayot Upamecano. A single containment error in this one-on-one duel allowed Dembélé to make it 5-2. This 13-minute window demonstrated the risk of a rigid press. Against elite transitional speed, if one player loses a duel, the entire system collapses. Bayern refused to go quiet. Chasing a 3-goal deficit, they utilized a specialized set-piece routine in the 65th minute, resulting in a crucial header from Upamecano. Then, Harry Kane dropped into a deep playmaking role. He threaded a through ball to Luis Diaz, who finished the chance to pull Bayern within one goal of a miracle. The final 20 minutes were played almost entirely in the PSG half. Bayern launched a relentless wave of attacks, sustained by a traveling support that sensed an equalizer looping over the line until Willian Pacho produced a desperate, acrobatic clearance to preserve the lead. Paris survived, but the final whistle brought a sobering realization. Despite their 5 goals, they were unable to kill the game, leaving the entire tie open for the return leg. Despite the scoreline, Bayern controlled 57% of the ball and generated a significantly higher expected goals total. However, look at PSG's efficiency. They finished the night with 5 shots on target and 5 goals, a 100% conversion rate in a Champions League semi-final. These numbers created a historical anomaly. It was the first time ever that both teams in a European semi-final scored 4 goals or more in a single match. Paris Saint-Germain now travels to the Allianz Arena with a 1-goal lead, a slender advantage that feels incredibly fragile after the first leg. The 5 forces when its best teams stop playing for a draw. It was a night where every tactical risk was punished and every attacking instinct was rewarded.